today's video, we take a look at a Gibson Traditional Pro from 2013. Hey guys, welcome back to Squealing Pig Guitars, the home of luxury shred machines here in Nottingham, England. My name is Ben Keightley, and today we're going to be looking at a pretty crazy Les Paul Traditional. The reason why this Les Paul Traditional is so controversial is because of the switching system. In 2013 and this decade in general, Gibson were really trying new ideas with their electronics and hardware options on their guitar, trying to push the Les Paul into the modern era. The push-pull switches allow coil splitting, coil tapping, phasing options, 10 dB boost, all sorts of different functionality, which is master controlled by a 5-way dip switch in the control cavity. It's definitely very complicated and very modern, and definitely not for the traditionalist. In today's video, we're going to be questioning whether we love this Gibson Les Paul Traditional from 2013, or is it too overcomplicated and modern for the typical Gibson traditionalist? In today's video, we're going to find out. So let's get it out the case and have a closer look at this Gibson Les Paul Traditional. So welcome to the Spec Talk of this beautiful Gibson 2013 Traditional Pro 2. So this really is a Gibson Traditional like you've never seen before. This was definitely a year that Gibson were experimenting with some new features, and I believe these were ordered as an exclusive run for a guitar shop in America. This guitar is in this wine red finish, which looks incredible and has a really nice figured top. That cherry finish goes all over the guitar, but it really isn't that finish that makes this guitar unique. It's actually the switching system. So in history, Gibson have kind of toyed with push-pull switches and 5-way switches in the back of guitars. And this guitar has one of them setups. So we have 4 push-pull knobs and a 5-way dip switch in the control cavity. The 5-way dip switch basically changes the function of these push-pull switches, so you can really customize your own electronics layout. The way that this one is set up today is that we have basically splittable functions on the volumes, so you can split down your neck and your bridge, and these two tone controls basically dictate which coil the pickup is active in the coil splitting mode. So what that means is in the middle position, I can have out of phase tones like the Peter Green guitar. I'll go all over this in the tone demo, but it is quite confusing. There's so many different variations of tones. Other than that, we have a pair of 57 classic humbuckers, which are really nice. We have gold hardware all over this guitar, and we have a natural style bridge and stop tailpiece. These knobs have been changed, but the originals are still in the case. So other than that, it's standard specs for a Les Paul Traditional. So we have a mahogany body, maple top, which is 2 pieces. It's got very kind of unique figuring. I wouldn't really say flamed, I'd more say it kind of looks a little bit furry in places, but it has a little bit of that kind of nice shading to it. It's not a completely inactive top. We have a mahogany neck with a 60s profile, rosewood fingerboard. With that Gibson headstock, usually the USA Traditionals would have Traditional written here, but we don't have that on this guitar. It just says Gibson and the silkscreen. What is an interesting choice that you don't see on any other Traditional is gold Grover tuners with the kind of tulip buttons, and these actually have the locking mechanism, so that's a pretty pro feature added to this guitar. On the back here it says Made in USA 2013 model and the serial number of this guitar. We've got some really nice cream binding which they were doing around this era. I had a Les Paul Traditional from 2009 that was in a light burst. It was more of a traditional, not with all the switching system. This plays very similar to that, has a very nice pronounced neck to it, sits really well, it's got a nice balance to it. Not too heavy, even though some of the Traditionals of this era can be very, very heavy. There is a few nicks on this guitar as we got it in second hand, so there's a few kind of dents on the side. There's some buckle rash and worming on the back there, but it is a player guitar. So I guess I better plug it in and show you guys how it sounds. So to start off with, I'm just going to be doing a completely clean tone on my Kemper Profiler, and I'm going to cherry pick a few of my favorite tones that you can get from these push-pull knobs. So let's get to the tone demo. So to begin with, we're going to go through each of the selections with all the switches down. So we're going to get humbucker, out of phase humbucker, and then bridge humbucker. So let's hear that first on a clean tone. Out of phase. Creates that kind of Peter Green tone. Very cool tone indeed. This is the bridge pickup. Now let's have some fun with the coil splits. I'm going to split down that bridge. So that sounded just like an out of phase strap tone, really like that. So this guitar has so much tonal versatility. Let's change the coils now, so this is the bridge. So this just goes to show this is definitely a Swiss Army knife of a Les Paul. But let's hear some more traditional Les Paul tones on the Dirty channel. So guys, what are my final thoughts on this amazing guitar? For a Les Paul Traditional from the Gibson USA range, it plays amazingly. This guitar has a really nice low action, it's set up nicely, and it has a nice resonance in the room. If I played it now, it rings out like a custom shop guitar. It has a lot of projection, which just means it's been built well. It's a great example of a USA Traditional. I really like the locking tunings on this guitar and the Grovers. It reminds me of a Les Paul Custom, and they definitely do hold better than the traditional vintage style Clusons. I also really like the gold harder on this. I think it offsets that cherry look really nice. It looks like a Studio Plus, or a bit more of a kind of Les Paul Custom like guitar. In terms of the push-pull knobs, personally, I would never use single coil tones on a Les Paul. The only thing I really like about this is that the default position in the middle is out of fade, which gets you that kind of iconic Pete's green tone, which I actually prefer than the standard middle position of a Les Paul. It sounds amazing and it has that kind of Strat-like quality to it. So if it was a perfect world, I'd basically just have no push-pull pots. I'd have neck pickup is humbucker, these two pickups out of phase, so you get the Pete green tone, and then bridge is just normal humbucker. That would be perfect for me. But obviously, you can get them tones, you just obviously have the push-pulls as well. As we mentioned, in the back cavity here, there is a 5-way kind of dip switch thing where you can basically change all the functionality of the push-pull pots. We didn't really go into that today, but that is an added bonus. For me, this switching system is too complicated, and that is my only criticism of this guitar. Gibson's market for guitar players are typically people who like traditional instruments and more traditionalists at heart. So this guitar is obviously very modern and kind of pushing the boundaries, which is a great thing for the player, but for a kind of traditional collector, they're not going to be interested in this guitar. I'd recommend this for someone who's getting started on their guitar, maybe looking to buy their first serious Gibson guitar, but want the functionality of other instruments that they might need. Someone playing in a band or someone who's a studio musician would really appreciate the functionality of this guitar, and it sounds incredible. Also, it comes in at an incredible price point. I think we got this price for around $17.99, which I think is a great price for a very high quality traditional Les Paul. But there's my thoughts on this guitar. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 if I had to rate it today. But let me know in the comment section below, guys, what do you think of this guitar? And whilst you're down there, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content. But thank you so much for watching Squealing Pig Guitars, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode. But until then, keep rocking, guys. I'll see you soon.